This is an old coil. I'm showing you a rebuildable tank atomizer. This one has toasted up. Right here, you're firing evenly. You have your set resistance. You're gonna place your 2-pole simple mesh coil, which is, this is the only mesh plate coil you can buy on the market. For as long as I've ever been doing this, 2012 to now, I've always been playing around with all kinds of different resistances with your standard 3.2 volts. So you can really go all over with that. At this point, I'm just right on to this latest build by Geek Vape, where I placed this single mesh. I have 800. I'll do another one of these. I don't have a box because I'm on my 4th refill right now. So there's it is. Here's your mesh. You're gonna fluff up. I'm gonna run this through like so. Pretty straightforward, easy as pie. Like $2.87 for this bad dog, and I'm smoking a $24, $33 equivalent. So if you do the math, $27 of profit every time I smoke. Based on everyone else's tobacco consumption, I'm getting paid to smoke. And I just don't do it enough to not find the time. If I am craving a cigarette, I'd rather suffer because I care about my health, my lungs. I write non-smoker on all of my questionnaires because I just honestly do not consume enough of this stuff. That's why I only have this one first video. All right, so here I am proofing the cotton. What you want, you can preen, pull, proof. You're gonna want that nicotine wick action where you're gonna be driving. So you want it dense, but you don't want it opaque. And then you need some of this loose cotton. It's gonna be keeping this unit. This one doesn't leak like these other rebuildable tank atomizers from 2015. Wow, I can take you back. I got all the stuff. I should do a whole entire bunch of stuff. I got all my old drips. So I have I have it all really nicely tightened up in the channel. I got this funny mohawk stuff. What I like to do is cut off this because you want to have air and you want the nicotine to go where it needs to go. If it's evaporating and it's wicking up out away, you want to have some loose, open, fluffy right here to hold some nicotine so it can be drawn in. You're using some kind of fancy scientific thermodynamics and stuff. Mostly just a hot coil and nicotine. So here I've snipped off my brush. I have a nice poofy, beautiful nicotine. It's pretty thick right here where it's going to really juice up and hold. I burnt off the old coil. I have good resistance on it. It's a nice coil. We're at 4 minutes. Are you serious? So much for making this quick. I was trying to do a 1 minute video. I knew I was about 2 minutes, but holy crap. All right, so I just found this product right here. This is not a salt nicotine build. Oh man, fresh juice. Oh man. So what you're gonna need to do before you fill it up, you're gonna have to dress up your coil. You have to have your settings. Right now I'm burning a nichrome, so it's really hot, really nice. There it is. It's getting, burning it in, juicing it up. I got a nice saturation. I have some nicotine on the cotton. There we go. I can now go ahead and put this guy, goes in here. So you saw that nice little cone, really cool design right here. Little O-rings to keep all this stuff in control. You can pull this out. I got 3 pieces to wash with soap and water. Dropping this over here. You can see all the air intake holes and so forth. Before you put this on, here's your little glass. Nice seated O-ring. It's clean. I've been using this one for maybe 2 years. I think I bought this in 23. Yeah, because I used it all the way through 24 and all through 25. So it's a 2.5-year-old O-ring. Still a dream. I'm going to pause this and show you my bag. You're going to be like, what in the world? And then here I have the Zeus, the Greek brilliant mastermind philosopher behind it all. So it must be someone else. Couldn't be Zeus. It wasn't called the Socrates or the Athens. I don't know. This top vent has a small recess where you can properly keep it on the top. So you drop it into the recess. It can only fit on about 20%, just so it's over that vent. You're gonna drop this in very gently. I like to backspin, hold my glass down. You don't want to cross thread. It always goes in easy. Now I'm turning it really easy all the way through. Snuggy snug. Beautiful. Now got my fancy breather. I opted. I paid like $4 for this beautiful amber breathe mouthpiece. I got the cap right here. Nice clean O-ring. Everything's dressed up nice. No buildup. No old odors. Clean coil. Clean everything. Everything's just dreamy. So you don't put coil. You don't juice down the middle. Fill up. I've never messed around with that. I'm filling up my whole thing. All the way to the top. All right. Sneak on this guy. All right. Now, tighten my vent down to about 5%. Close. Now, what I'm doing is I'm breathing through. I'm pulling air and juice through the cotton. Just above it. You want that pull. This is going to make the difference. You singe that and toast that cotton, and you're smoking toasted cotton. I like to change out my cotton every few days. All right, one quick, and I'm back. Yeah, I lived over on Gold Street, Massachusetts. I got all this stuff. So this is a 2024 purchase. These are all like $3. I bought enough to last me forever. I got Nichrome 80 mesh coils, micro mesh. I got all this on the Geek Vape store for my specific build. You'll see here inside of this package the single coil plate that you just round and drop in. You're not spinning wires. Quick, easy to change. You get your cottons. You can also put in your cotton bacon or whatever it is these days. So here it says this has had a chance to wick. Just getting there. Let's see. Ooh. Gently firing, letting that juice get through. Oh yeah, you can also just cover the breather. Now I'm really getting yeah. Now I'm ready to cook for 4 days, 2 days. I know. I like to draw, and you got to play the trigger gently. This isn't Can't be too obtuse. It's all, you know, you're just firing current through a metal coil and toasting cotton and nicotine, propyl glycerin, propylene glycol, and vegetable glycerin. This does it for me. It's not as delicious as the salt in some regard. It's better because I don't know. It's just not over. It's not like overwhelming my senses every time. I can gently take some smoke, vape my thing, a little vape. Anyway, there you go. Take one. I'll do better. I'll make cooler videos.